billions of dollars worth of U.S. military hardware. Seoul's ballistic missile development is limited to a range of 800 kilometers and a payload weight of 800 kilograms.
And Seoul say a likely scenario would be deploying the F-22 Raptor and the F-35B Lightning II stealth jets, alternating them every 3 months. The jets will likely be stationed either at the U.S. base in Osan or in Kunsan, where they would be putting pressure on the North Korean regime, being able to penetrate North Korean airspace undetected.
Ulti Freedom Guardian exercises. The state-run Rodong Sinmun newspaper called the drills laughable, adding that its strategic weapons could annihilate the enemy at any time and from any region. The paper added that the U.S. and Japan have mobilized intelligence assets working round the clock, but they failed to detect the time and location of its launches. It added that any attempt to detect and destroy the regime's tel-mobile launchers is nothing but a silly dream. Sales of its tour packages for China tumbled nearly 37% in August compared to the same month last year. In contrast, the number of Koreans traveling to Japan in August jumped by 25% on year. The spillover effect was also seen in Southeast Asian nations, including Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines, as the number of Koreans booking tours to the region surged by some 30%. Since March, Beijing has taken a series of measures in apparent economic retaliation against the THAAD system, including a sales ban on Korea-bound package tours.
For high military alertness and is expected to urge the parties to cooperate to overcome the security crisis. The opposition parties had some strong words. The main opposition Liberty Korea party condemned the North's latest provocative act, saying that a nuclear test is absolutely intolerable. They said that the responsibility lies in the hands of the Moon administration, which has been stressing dialogue, while the international community has been imposing strong sanctions. The Minor People's Party also denounced the move, saying Pyongyang's nuclear capability is becoming a real threat and that it could bring about a disaster on the Korean peninsula. The splinter conservative Padam Party says the latest act is a provocation not just on the Korean peninsula but the international community, calling on the Moon administration to change its North Korea policy.
North Korea said it successfully tested an advanced hydrogen bomb on Sunday, marking a dramatic escalation in the state's standoff with the US over its nuclear weapons program. An announcement on state television claimed that a hydrogen bomb test was a perfect success and a meaningful step in completing the country's nuclear weapons program. Japan said that an earthquake detected near the North's test site was around 10 times more powerful than previous detonations. South Korea says it's discussing deploying US strategic military assets to the Korean peninsula. Japan has immediately raised the prospect of further sanctions against the isolated North. I ordered the relevant ministries to gather and analyze information and inform the public appropriately. If North Korea has conducted a nuclear test, we will never tolerate this action. We strongly protest this action by Pyongyang. Earlier pictures released by the North Korean state news agency showed Kim Jong-un inspecting a silver-coloured hourglass-shaped warhead accompanied by nuclear scientists. Tensions on the Korean peninsula have been high since last month, when North Korea threatened to launch missiles into the sea near the strategically located US Pacific territory of Guam.
Citing several sources close to the process, the Washington Post reported Saturday that U.S. President Donald Trump instructed advisors to prepare for Washington to withdraw from the South Korea-U.S. free trade deal as early as next week. If true, the move would deal a big blow to relations between the allies, stoking economic tension at a time of escalated threats from North Korea. The Post said that many top White House officials, such as National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster, Defense Secretary Jim Mattis, and National Economic Council Director Gary Cohn, oppose the plan and are pushing Trump to abandon the idea. However, a White House spokeswoman told the Post that discussions are ongoing, though there's nothing to be announced at this time. Since his inauguration, President Trump has been expressing discontent over the 5-year-old FTA, calling it a horrible deal that's resulted in a large trade deficit for America. Though nothing is official yet, if Washington decides to send a statement of withdrawal on the trade deal, the pact could be terminated in 180 days without the approval of Congress.
At around 12:29 p.m. local time, North Korea conducted its sixth nuclear test at its test site in Punggye-ri. Countries in the region were initially alerted by the 5.7 magnitude earthquake, which South Korea's meteorological agency determined matched the seismic waves emitted by a nuclear test. Analysts said there are two types of seismic waves that travel through the Earth's interior, and a tremor is considered to be an artificial one if the amplitude of the P waves are much higher than that of the S waves, just like in this case.
Generally, with artificial earthquakes, the only waves you can detect and analyze are P waves. So all 150 of our seismometers identify the quake as artificial.
The KMA initially put the scale of the earthquake at magnitude 5.6, but revised it to 5.7 with a depth of 0 kilometers, that is, virtually at ground level. The magnitude was about 5 to 6 times stronger than the 5.0 magnitude quake detected during the North's fifth nuclear test last September, and 11 times stronger than that of the fourth nuclear test. Though it is established that the quake came from a nuclear test, the claim that the weapon was a hydrogen bomb is not confirmed. Still, experts say there are signs pointing to the North now having its possession of a bomb